Well, welcome to Real People, Real Stories, where we are interviewing people just like you and me who are having success with redox molecules. My name is Dr. Barbie Phillips, and I'm coming to you from Fargo, Oklahoma. Creation Chiropractic is the name of my business, and I am a chiropractic physician for people and animals, and have been in this profession for 23 years. So if you're new to redox molecules and maybe you're just learning about them, I want to share just a little bit about them. Redox molecules are from the ASEA Redox Company, and they're cell signaling molecules. These molecules can be consumed in a liquid, or they can be applied topically through a Renew 28 gel. The gel is about 3 times more concentrated than the liquid, and those are some of our baseline products. Now, redox molecules are native to the human body, and we produce them from the time we're born. However, when we hit puberty, we start losing about 1% per year. And so as we get older, we lose the ability for our cells to heal, for them to handle the stressors that happen in life, and then we need to consume them through these products in order for our cells to be functioning at a higher level. Now, the cells absorb these very readily. They're tiny molecules, and because they're tiny, they absorb right into the cell, and they act as an on-off switch to the cells. So what that means is they turn the good cells on and the bad cells off, which, as you can guess, is really, really important. They work at the genetic level, and they work on 5 areas, and I can actually just look at them on the back of the bottle. It's on the back here. And it works on immune system health. It also helps maintain a healthy inflammatory response. It supports the body's ability to respond to external stressors, which is really important. It also helps maintain cardiovascular health and support arterial elasticity, which you can imagine how important it is. And then it improves gut health and enzyme production. We all know that the gut is kind of our second brain, so it's important to keep that healthy. And then it modulates hormone balance. And if you're about my age, you can imagine that's super important too. So we love the products for all those reasons. But once they get into the cellular level and they start turning cells on and off according to what needs to happen, they then have a cascade effect. And what that means is it starts affecting cells around it, and cells around those cells that are being targeted become healthier over time. And we begin to get more resilience to stress and then create more overall wellness. I will insert a disclaimer here that anything we speak about tonight is going to be purely testimony from our guest tonight, and is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any medical conditions. So without further ado, I am going to introduce our guest tonight, Miss Rhonda Dodd, who has over 2 decades of registered nurse experience, and I'm sure she is going to share a lot of information with us tonight. Miss Rhonda, I'm going to let you tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am 56 years old. I'm a widow of 6 years. My husband was 44 years old when he passed away. So I had a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old at the time. So a lot of oxidative stress. I was introduced to ASEA. I'm going to go ahead and go right into that because it kind of all plays together. I was introduced to redox ASEA by a friend that I've known for 15, 20 years, but we hadn't communicated in that long either. I lived in Kansas. She lived here in Oklahoma. And we had moved back from Kansas, and she reached out to me and said, "Are you still in the medical field?" Well, at the time I was not in the medical field, and I had to get out of it because my husband's health and my kids' mental health. And so my life had led me down the road of Chick-fil-A, working at Chick-fil-A from being a registered nurse, the ER for 17 years, to working at Chick-fil-A and then Brahms. So when she asked me if I was still in the medical field, I said, no. And that's all she wrote. That's literally all she wrote. And this is Tanya. I don't know if you know that, Barbie. And she started telling me a little bit about redox and the scientific of redox, and just reintroduced it to or introduced it to me. She had no idea what my health condition was, none whatsoever. She just knew that everybody needs it. Well, I had been in the hospital a month or two prior to when she came to me. She had no idea I was in the hospital. I was put on blood pressure medications, my health, my heart. I was on oxygen at night. I was just in a really bad position. I was too young to be in the condition I was in, and I was really praying for an answer. Had no idea where that answer was going to come from. I knew nothing. And so Tanya had talked to me, a couple times. I was not able to afford it. I told her, I says, I don't know what this supplement is, but I don't understand it. And as the medical person that I was in the past, which you're always a medical person once you've been in it, I didn't understand what it was, and I didn't. I knew I couldn't afford it. I just knew I couldn't afford it. So that was 2 years ago. Matter of fact, that was 2 years ago. And I went to a workshop, and at this workshop, finally, week after week after week, she kept bugging me to come to this workshop about Panera Bread. And I said, okay. I came up with all the excuses I could, and I couldn't get out of it. And so I drank 2 ounces. She put redox on my neck. I felt so different. I felt so different. I went home, and I hadn't slept in, I can't even count how many years it's been since I had slept, just with everything that I'd been through, a whole bunch of life that I'd been through. And I slept that night. And I decided I can't afford not to do this. I cannot afford it. My health needs this, and this is the answer to prayer. Just by the first night's sleep, I knew it was the answer to prayer, to God's prayer for me. In less than 2 months, I was off the oxygen. I was taking less medications for the other things that they had put me on a couple months earlier. Within the first 4 days, I went to the massage therapist every other week, several times a month, because of the degenerative things that I have going on throughout my body. And in 4 days, my massage therapist knew. She says, what are you doing differently? Your body is totally different. So I told the kids, I told my kids at the time, I believe they were 16 and 17 at the time. I said, I started drinking this stuff. If you notice the blue bottles, I got 4 cases. I got plenty, just in case, your dad was 19 or 23 when he was diagnosed with his first cancer. And I says, you guys aren't far off from that age. I says, you want to start drinking 2 ounces? That's fine. Just drink whatever. I says, but I'm giving it to the dog. It was a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. Quite elderly. She was having heart issues and things. And I says, I'm already starting to give it to the dog. And that got their attention. And because they had seen how much the dog had improved already. They hadn't seen so much mom improve, but they'd seen the dog improve. And so they started drinking. My daughter didn't like it because of the pool water. My son kind of just like swished it in his mouth. I says, if that's all you do, that's fine. he had a dentist appointment, and 2 weeks after after he started swishing this in his mouth, and he could not get over how the dentist commented on his teeth and his hygiene. More so, I mean, he's always had good hygiene, but they were just so impressed. He's like, "Mom, I can't believe it." And I says, so anyways, a lot of other things. They both have a lot of health history and stuff. But long story short, I was told in 2016 I need a total knee replacement. I was at a stage 4 and there's no stage 5. Orthopedic surgeon couldn't believe that I hadn't been to any other orthopedics, hadn't received injections. He says, you got to be kidding me. He says, you should be in a wheelchair. So I put it off and I put it off and I put it off. Not until I started redox 2 years ago did I ever think that I'd be able to do the knee replacement. I didn't feel like my health, if I would have done it when they wanted to do it, I know I would have been, I'm not sure if I'd have made it through the surgery. Coming forward, it was 2 weeks ago tomorrow. It hadn't even been 2 weeks ago that I had this total knee replacement, and they could not believe how bad it was. And I'm so thankful that I had the redox and the renew and the spray and the collagen, the radiance in my tool belt for this recovery. Daily during physical therapy, they can't believe the leaps and bounds that have already come through in less than, well, at the time was 6 days. Now today was 11 days. And how the bruising is disappearing. And I'm very thankful, and I'll never go without redox. Never.
Wow, it sounds like you have found a lot of uses for it, coming from yourself to your children to the dog, which that's pretty awesome, because if something has cells, redox works. And that's the exciting thing. Now, I don't know how you have noticed with the redox, but it is designed to work on the most emergency first. So sometimes we take the redox molecules hoping, let's say, for less back discomfort, but it might be our breathing that gets better, which is something that happened to me. You know, I started using the Renew 28 on my face, and the first thing I noticed was my airways opened up, and I was like, well, now that's interesting. So we do have to honor that they're going to go to the most challenging parts first and be patient with the process. Have you noticed that is something that you've had to deal with too, is being patient with the process? And how long did it take you to notice some things also before the knee replacement?
Well, the sleeping was the first night. My breathing, getting off the oxygen in less than 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And I was inhaling it. I still do inhale it because I know it gets in my bloodstream faster that way. And it doesn't take long at all. I've had so many things. I could go on for days without ever repeating the story.
Wow.
But definitely it goes in priority on what your body needs. Cardiac issues, definitely. I've seen a huge improvement with that, and the change in medications that the cardiologist has made. Blood pressure.
How long?
That's okay to say, right?
Yeah, sure. How long did you notice before a change in some of your health challenges in that area?
Less than 6 months.
Less than 6 months. So it's helping your body heal at the cellular level. Again, it's not treating any of those things or blood pressure. It's just helping your body balance out and restore itself and start to optimize its function. So now I will make mention, you mentioned the sleeping happened the first night. And when I heard about everybody having all these wonderful changes with sleep, I was like, yay, mine took 7 months. But when I look back and understand how the molecules work, it was working, of course, on my lungs because I'd had chronic bronchitis, that probably left scar tissue and damaged lung tissue. And I'd had that since I was 9 years old. So of course it would be working on that first.
Right.
And I'm glad to, say that I, knock on wood, haven't had any more of those childhood episodes that I had all the way through adulthood since starting ASEA. So, but yeah, each thing is different. And it's exciting to hear the changes that it's made for your life and your family. And what do you think, now that your children have started that, what do you think their future holds with redox molecules or ASEA?
Well, my daughter is now 22. My son is now 23. They live on their own. My daughter just got married in June. And honestly, with her health conditions, with the connective tissue disorder that she has, she's already had 6 knee surgeries before she was 16 years old. Her dislocations, she doesn't even just sublux, she dislocates. And they're pretty severe. And the out-of-pocket physical therapy, the whole realm with a dislocation is maybe down to 4 days. 4 days with a severe dislocation, not just a subluxation. Those are fewer and far between. She also has many other health issues that affect her blood pressures and her equilibrium and things. She has sorry, I'm gonna cry. She now has a hope that she can actually carry a pregnancy, that it's not life-threatening for her to get pregnant.
Wow.
Her life is totally different. My son's on the spectrum. There's things that he's had come through his life in the last 6 months that he had never been able to handle without redox. And he can tell you and will tell you, Josh would have never been able to handle this before redox. It's amazing. And it's spread to my daughter's in-laws. And I mean, they'll get her mother-in-law cut her finger really badly. First thing she did is slap the mask on there, the clay mask. And she's constantly texting me and saying how this has changed this, and her husband, my daughter's father-in-law, travels with Air Force One, and he would have never even thought about traveling with this blue bottle or blue pouch, and he will not leave home without it. He tested it once, and he says he'll never stop it again. So
wow.
it's just it's amazing. It's almost magical on how much. I mean, I could go on.
It's so great. And for you to set the foundation for your children at a young age. And that's some questions that people do have is, is it safe for children to take? And the answer, of course, is yes. I even have an infant that's 5 weeks old in the office, and we're having the mom do drops in the mouth, as well as the Renew 28 on the back of the neck and the carotid artery areas to help this child with just healing. And it's safe, it's non-toxic. So you don't have to worry about it harming anyone or interfering with medications. If someone's on medications, it's just a win-win. You can take it. So how many ounces do you take now, Rhonda, just as kind of your wellness program?
Well, now with the knee replacement, the first night after surgery, I got into my room at 5:10. Within that night, I drank at least 6. I lost count on how many pouches I drank.
Right.
I at least 6 to 8. So it depends upon what I'm going through. Now on a daily basis, I drink anywhere from 3 to 4.
Right.
Um, if I'm going to massage therapy, I'll drink a half a pouch 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after. Hot yoga. Oh my goodness. I love doing hot yoga. It has been so, I've never done anything like that in my life. I've always done the cardio and, try to lose weight, but this actually helps me. But, I forgot the pouch one time and I couldn't even do the breathing exercises at the beginning. Couldn't even get through that. But I drink a pouch throughout the whole yoga class, and then I'll drink maybe a half a pouch afterwards. Depends upon how the day was and how my body feels. So it depends upon the day, but on average, two to three.
Okay. And those pouches, if anyone's unfamiliar, they're 8 ounces apiece. And you're bringing up some really valid points. When you do have some challenges with health issues, the amount we drink goes up, and the body can heal at the cellular level faster by consuming more molecules. Now, once you're past those health challenges and feeling better, those molecules can go back down. And then let's say you have, just some random challenges that come up, you start consuming more. And we do the same, with our patients. And you also brought up, before activities or going to massages, and many athletes, even professional athletes, are using ASEA, and it helps with muscle recovery and soreness. And I will tell you, this weekend, we were jet skiing at the lake, and I water skied for the first time in 8 years. I'm super excited because my body's getting stronger. But let me tell you, I got really sore. And so I upped the amount of redox, and I covered my arms and my legs with the Renew 28, and just kept doing that over and over. Plus, the Renew 28 is really helpful for sunburns. And the next day, I wasn't even sore. So there's so many benefits to this, but our bodies would not recover the way they are if we weren't consuming these molecules, because we don't produce enough on our own. So you've definitely brought up some great points. Rhonda, these are all wonderful things that you've shared, and I'm so, so excited that you and your family and extended family have had great success with the redox molecules. I just can't say how happy I am for you. And we certainly wish your daughter and your son much success on their journey, as well as your continued journey in the future. So
Thank you.
yeah, I will open it up right now. If there's anyone that has questions for Rhonda, please feel free to unmute yourself or even turn your camera on. This would be the time to do that.
Hello, Rhonda from Kansas.
Hi.
Have you been having workshops in your home to share with other people your amazing results?
I have not in my home, but I participate in every Oklahoma City area workshop that I can.
Oh, wonderful.
She's got a lot to share, doesn't she?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Does anyone else have any questions for Miss Rhonda? Feel free to jump in.
Don't be shy.
All right. Well, if there are no more questions right now, I'd just like to say, if you do have any questions or comments that you need to get a hold of us, you can reach, I'm sure, Rhonda or myself on Facebook. And we would just love to be able to answer those questions for you. And if you are in the market to start redox molecules, we do recommend that you purchase those through a reputable associate. And there is a 30-day money-back guarantee from the company when you order through the company that way. And that way, if there's any products that you are not say happy with, then the company stands behind that. But I can't imagine that that happens. So we will definitely be interviewing more people, and all the interviews and follow-ups recordings can be found on our Creation Chiropractic YouTube channel. You also can call the office, Creation Chiropractic, at 580-698-2852 if you have questions. And we will be joining again right here in 2 weeks with another person that we will interview at 6:30 Central, and that will be on September 19th, where we will interview another guest and hear more about how redox is changing lives. And until then, we say goodnight to everyone and have a blessed week.